Tapped In Media, Russ and Rojo. And before we get into introducing our newest guest, big shout out to Big Mike from Chicano Style Bikers, who gave us the opportunity to actually interview him in his barrage, as you like to call it.
Yeah.
Nice setup, honestly.
Yeah, it was
great setup.
It was a little intense, and I'm glad that, you know what, I'm going to give you props on that. I'm glad you, like, when we were in the middle of that interview, you kind of, like, dialed it back, and I'm like, oh, shit, because,
it was getting kind of deep, and hopefully that interview will be coming out soon, so that everybody can check it out. It's very deep. He is battling with cancer,
yes.
you know.
Yep.
So, you know, make sure you guys check out that interview. Make sure you guys also follow them or follow him at Chicano Style Bikers. That's with an X at the beginning.
Right, yeah.
On Instagram.
And I think we'll put that in the description too, so you go and click through all of his stuff that he has, you know, currently available on his YouTube channel. Big shout out to him. I know that, you know, that was a lot. It took a lot of energy from him.
It did.
With us, so we really appreciate
We're very
that.
grateful for him. And also thanks to our sponsors, Café del Cid. Make sure you go to delcidcoffee.com, delcidcoffee.com.
And use the promo code
tappedin_media.
Yes, sir.
And of course, our newest sponsor,
Newest
Upland
one,
Nutrition.
man. Woo,
Shout out to Upland Nutrition.
That's pretty
out
badass,
there in Upland.
Yes,
After
sir.
a workout, you need some protein, go out to Upland Nutrition.
Yeah,
Make sure you guys check them out. And now to introduce our newest guest.
This is pretty good. Hey, good on you, bro. You got this one too. Damn.
Hey, you know what?
I've been some work finally.
Wow. I've been getting ghosted. I've been getting ghosted by a few, but this individual himself gave us the opportunity to, you know, have him come out and be able to talk to him a little more and see how things went with him as far as like his podcast, his success so far.
Right.
You know, he
his
has
podcast. According to what you know, what you put down here, he has 30,000 subs.
30,000
subs on YouTube. 500,000 on TikTok. I know how much you love that TikTok stuff. And then 300,000 on IG.
Yes.
Right? All right, that's cool. I mean, that's a big following, right?
That's a huge.
I can't wait to talk to him to see how like that whole thing transpired for his.
Oh yeah, I want to hear his
podcast.
story, and you know, let's just bring him on.
Let's do it, man.
A toast to life.
A toast to life. Let's bring him on, man. Hell yeah. Yes, brother. Yes. Go ahead, man. You can put those bad boys in right there.
Love hearing my
All right, bro. Yeah, welcome. Welcome to 3P Studios, man. Big shout out to Drew, by the way, who's hanging out with us. Big shout out to him, man, for coming through.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
And thank you so much for coming through, man. A toast to life podcast, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got the shirt on and everything, bro.
You're a walking billboard. You're a walking billboard. So
that's dope, man.
Thank you guys for having me out, especially on this beautiful weather Sunday.
I love it.
Well, everybody could be sleeping, but we decide to work.
That's right, man. Early in the morning. We record in the morning specifically because our wives like to do a bunch of stuff during the day. So like if we just get it out of the way, it's a lot easier. That's not even a joke, right? I think that's kind of what we decided.
My wife is you know,
she's shopping at Costco right now, bro. Yeah, she's handling it, you know.
It happens. Happy wife, happy life, right? That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Dude, I mean, she had to get in line. I was mentioning to you guys earlier. She had to get in line early this morning for the huevos. You know,
huevos. People are crazy about those eggs right now.
And it's not the eggs that you're thinking about, dude. Not the huevos that you're thinking.
No mal pensado. No.
Bien mal pensado over there.
Look, we want to talk about a toast of life, man. This is really cool that we got a chance to bring you in the studio where we're at, you know, right here on Tapped In, and we see, like you said, you have such a huge following. And I know when we were talking in prep, you know, we were telling us that how you don't want to spend too much time in the editing part of it all, because that's really is the hang up of things. 100%. Like, because it is ours as well, you know, and we're looking over here on the background of you know, what you do so far at home and stuff, or at your pad is when you told us, and we were kind of blown away. No, we're in a nice studio here at 3P.
100%. This is nice. They got money here. Wow, this is
Drew,
nice.
Bro. Like, I mean, he put it down for us. But you know, I mean, tell us like what you know what brought it out for it like that. You know, for you to come a toast of life. That podcast. What started it?
Man, depression, mental health.
Really?
Everything transpired. This was 2020, ending of 2020. I already had this mentality. Like, I want to do something in social media. I post every day. Obviously, my 50 people are watching, liking, family, friends, whatever. But I'm like, I want to get into something where helpful, because at that point, I'm already coaching high school. I've been coaching at that point already for about 5 years. Love the kids, love being motivational. I've always had that spunk of like, I want to lead somebody. So obviously COVID happened. everything gets shut down, and you're inside, newborn at the house.
Oh,
And
that's tough.
I'm like, bro, something's wrong, and I need to fix this. But at that point, also, I was watching I Am Athlete podcast, Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, and I'm just like, everything they're saying, I know already. Because we hear the same message 1,000 times, but the moment we hear it from one person we never knew that said it, we're just like, oh, snap. Yeah. Like, that made sense.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, if they can do it and they're huge, they get paid, they're famous, they're impactful, why can't I do it?
Right.
And I mean, literally, I still have the notebook at the house. We wrote like 20 names. My wife, she was just like, she's the one that bought me my first camera, Canon. She was like, I know you want to do something, but I know you've been holding back on buying it because the camera is an investment.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's expensive.
it was a Canon T8i, and she was like, here you go. So for literally about 3 weeks, we're just on YouTube. How to start a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
How to edit. Where to post. And I watched a lot of Think Media, so I have a whole notebook just writing everything down. I'm like,
Nice.
all right.
So you physically still write things down, because I always trip out on this, and I read out a lot of these self-help books, right? And then I'm always like, and it genuinely says every time I read these damn self-help books is like, write it down. But today, not this. I'm no joke. Like this generation, like a lot of they won't do it, bro.
They don't write
like
it
it's
down.
not about writing it down. They're like, oh, I'll just take a note, or
ChatGPT,
or ChatGPT, or I'll like, oh, let me take a quick note on that.
My
But that's
biggest
cool.
my biggest thing now is what's the one thing we always carry on us is our phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm always on my notes. So literally, we recorded a podcast. It was just me in front of the camera, cringe as shit, but it's still there. And I was just like, hey, this is a toast to life. This is what we're gonna do. Hope you guys stay in here. This is the purpose, giving everybody a background. Posted it, and I'm like, damn, I hope somebody watches. And I had my first guest, and we went for like 20 weeks straight. Every Friday night, the baby would put to sleep.
Wow.
My wife would get home at 11, and my whole setup was already in the living room because we were living in West Covina at the apartment right there by the Edwards Movies.
Shout out to West Coast.
Oh,
Yeah, shout out
West
West
Covina,
Cove.
what up?
And these are literally everybody, all the first 20 episodes are my friends. And we would come on Friday, and when I say I was living up to the name of a toast to life, we were living it. The guest had a bottle, I had a bottle, and we would spend.
Does that sound familiar, Russ?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
So we would do it up until like 2, 3 in the morning. I don't know how we'd do it, but that video, that YouTube episode would be posted by the next morning. But there was no TikTok, there was no Instagram Reels.
Right.
Like, I wasn't knowledgeable. I was like, I just gotta post it. But one thing I think what changes for me was like 2 episodes in, I'm like, if I stop, everybody's gonna say, oh, look, you started and you quit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know what? I can't do that. Every Monday, every week, I was posting videos. Boom, boom, boom. As we progress, now we're learning. Like, we bought a house in Fontana. We moved, and literally, have you guys seen the Yeti mics, like the game?
Yeah.
ones?
Oh yeah.
So those are my first mics.
Okay.
They're not for podcasts.
No, they're not.
No, yeah.
They're not.
And then my laptop, I was on GarageBand. It would go through there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
So
you were doing. You're
so-
recording through GarageBand.
Yeah, so there was one episode that just changed the whole game for me when there was 4 people in here, 5, put 2 mics, and when I say that, audio was horrible, horrendous.
So you didn't have any background prior to
Oh, no, I
any of
don't-
this, right?
I
You
don't
were
know
just
none of
jump,
it.
you were
None of
just
it.
jumping in and saying, you know what, feet to the fire, fuck it, let's go.
YouTube, what mics are good for podcasting? YouTube, what's camera is best for podcasting? What's the settings? And for the longest time, shout out to my cameraman Jose and Rojo now, but I shoot in automatic. I never shot in no gamma or manual or none of that.
Right.
Automatic, the lighting is good for me. Posting, perfect. But there's no background. We weren't famous. We weren't known. We were nobodies. We're somebody now, but because we put in so much work with everybody. But we're at 193 episodes now. For the first 100, who knew us?
No.
My friends, my neighbors,
Trust
Yeah.
me, we know.
a couple
Yeah.
people. So it wasn't.
Yeah, we did a podcast a few years back, and we had 150 episodes. out?
Yeah, it's
150, right?
well 120, but yeah, you could say close to 150, 160 because some of them were unreleased because we couldn't release.
Yeah, we can't release that, man. It was so bad.
And-
so we totally get like that building up that
and
process.
you know what's crazy is that somebody like you who just started it just out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and not knowing what you were getting into, we come from a radio background, and
yeah,
we
you were
still
mentioning.
started off pretty crappy, right?
Yeah.
When we would record, I would just get this crappy little laptop, and then I would plug in my headset, and it would allow me to talk. Oh my God, it was the most horrible audio. And then I remember this is one of our episodes. I was doing push-ups as we're recording.
Yeah.
This was during the pandemic.
That's right. We had to manage on Zoom. Remember we were talking about this before we started getting into this, and like
Russ
it was
loves
new
the
for us.
Zoom.
I love me some Zoom.
Loves the Zoom.
Yeah,
over
man,
here.
because you know what? I didn't want to get COVID.
You still got it.
I did. I get it twice.
See, that's
But
why we would drink.
I'm still here. I'm still pushing through, bro. You know.
That's why we would drink. We would watch
So,
everything out.
You would drink.
So,
That would be the solution to it. Let me just drink it out.
so kind of like you, we started a podcast in 2019.
Yeah.
And it was 4 of us. 4 of us. And we went on basically to about 5 years. Unfortunately, we had we had some issues with me. It was my fault. I'll take full responsibility. And hopefully one day he'll accept my apology. Until then,
It happens.
no hard
It
feelings.
does, man. It
no hard
does.
feelings, but he left, and then it was us 3.
Yeah.
And then just about a year ago, right?
Right.
The other guy just, decided to step away from it. No hard feelings either. He still keeps in touch with us.
Nice.
He watches, and he's very supportive. And
Yeah.
everything.
Shout out Dan Clark. We see you,
And
bro.
then I told him, I'm like, you know what? Let's just take it to a different level. Let's change things up. Let's change the format. What we were doing back then was 5 years, and it wasn't getting us anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, we got to get into YouTube. I kept trying to push the whole YouTube thing.
Oh yeah.
And it just wasn't working out for us.
Yeah.
And so now, this is where we're at right now.
How Luis, tell us where you're here. I mean, how many is there of you at a Toast Up to Life? Because we see a lot of people on your videos.
Correct.
We see a lot of people in frame. Correct. Right. And you're here by yourself. But
Yeah.
I mean, tell us how many, and give us,
So-
let's give us a rundown on that.
So kind of like how you said, when I first formed the house, I said in order for me to scale this to where I want it to be and be known, I got to go where people are known. Where is it? Downtown LA. Went to downtown LA, and when I say I thought having everybody around me was successful, it bled me dry.
Wow.
Like I would record with one guest, but I would invite 10 other people. So
You just went to downtown LA and recorded them at whatever random spot?
no, we would get a Pure Space. So I would get
Okay.
studios.
Okay, got it.
But we would record like 3 episodes in a day because I'm like, I can't afford to come every weekend.
Wait, so that Pure Space, is that the one in Echo Park?
No, it's an app where
Yeah.
you could just search up
Remember,
podcast studios.
so when we were first looking for a studio, that's kind of what I was
Oh,
showing you.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I DJ, and I hear about a lot. They have a lot
Yeah.
of CDJs and stuff already set up. So you guys kind of fell into
Yeah,
the studio
so
like that.
there was a studio in downtown LA right there by the Arts District. The lady was so amazing to us that we got her personal number and we're like, hey, can we record this weekend? And she would obviously still charge us, but we're cool with her. But again, I had 10 people around me.
Yeah.
After we would leave there, I'm like, all right, well, in order for people to believe how cool we are, we got to go live a cool life. Podcast for 3 hours, go eat with everybody. After eating, we go drink. After drinking, we go to the bar. After bar, we party, and boom, go home. It was looking great.
Yeah.
But the only person that was suffering was the person paying.
Of course.
So at that point, it was just still me by myself, like hosting it. And then I brought in a friend because I was like, bro, you're my best friend. You're good at talking. You coach with me.
Yeah.
I can help you on this. And I did. But when I say, as much as you help people to be something that they're really not, but you're trying your best, the truth colors always comes out at one point and fell off. But right now, currently, I have my best friend, Pepe, my other best friend, Jose, and our newest addition, kind of, but she's going on a year, Jack. And
Nice. Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them, man.
big shout out.
They hold me fucking down, bro. They're
That's
like
dope.
I'm level headed to a point of I want it my way, but they're just like, hey, reason with this. Hey, look at this way. Hey, this way. But when I say, like, I guess to kind of keep it short, when you have the right people in place, things work out for the best.
Yeah.
As much as you want, my friend, shout out to my guy Jose from San Diego. He was like, we podcast with him because we would go a lot of San Diego to record, and he was like, at one point in your life, you get to the door, and you realize that door is only meant for you, not for everybody else around you. Because as much as you want them to go through it, they're not ready to go through there. So in order for you to succeed and get to the next level, you have to let go of the dead weight. Because the more you try to like, hey, I believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself, and then you're not doing any work.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? I can't carry you no more.
That's true.
So I went through this whole process. We actually talked about this yesterday, where it was like, I don't need yes people around me. I need people that tell me the truth.
For sure.
Right. For sure.
My yes people, and I had them for a while, was always like, if I say, let's go to the bar, yes. Let's go to San Diego and party and record, yes. Hey, you want to do this? Yes, yes, yes. But the moment you get to your lowest level of depression, you're broke, you're struggling, that yes person is not the person to get you back up and help you. They just like, oh, well, you can't do this no more? Oh, let me move on. You tell me when you're ready again.
Would you say you're like the heart and soul of the show, of podcast, and then everybody out there is, is helping out, and obviously they're doing their part.
Correct.
But I mean, the drive has to start with somebody.
Yeah.
So does it mostly start, what you would say it started with you, right?
100%.
So like you were about this.
There has to be someone crazy enough to do something for free for over 100 episodes.
Yeah, no
There
doubt.
has to be somebody.
You're preaching to the choir, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Preaching to the choir.
So I never put anything on them to be like, hey, we're going to do this. I need your part. I need your part. And it's like, no, I'm going to do this. I would love for you guys to be on this. This is my goal. This is the dream. Be a part. And we had two other females on the pod. Amazing people. I still talk to them. But their life journey was going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
My life journey was like, well, we're recording Saturdays, Fridays, this. I'm like, I can't ask you to sacrifice. I really can't. If you want to, I'm promise you I'll try to take care of everything, but if this is not your calling, then it's not.
Right.
You can only go so far into something that's really not for anybody.
Yeah, so obviously you ran into so many obstacles. And
so many, bro.
Just like ourselves, running into so many obstacles, just trying to get, even just the editing part was an obstacle, right?
It is.
There's so much that goes into trying to create a platform, a podcast, a channel, whatever it is that you're trying to create.
100%.
It takes time, it takes effort, you have to have a grind, and you have to, like you said, you have to have the right people in place.
Yeah, it's there's one rule in our show is we never miss a Monday. We drop every single Monday, no matter the circumstance. We've came back from San Diego on Sunday. Sunday night, I'm up to 3-4 in the morning. That video is up on the podcast going. My first clip is out at 9 in the morning. I don't miss. But that's like I think for everybody that's like wanting to do a podcast, like that's your rule. Like your word is your bond. So if your own audience can depend on you to post every week, they're gonna move on to somebody else that is posting every week.
I'm gonna take that as a constructive criticism to us, and in no way that am I saying that you're like that's kind of no. I'm saying that because I've been talking to Russ, and this is the whole reason why we bring people like you, is because we're also learning.
Right.
And even though we come from radio, you're way ahead of the game from us. We come from radio, from the radio aspect,
different,
not the podcast aspect of it, and not how to grow or how to, what is it that we have to do on Instagram. And that's kind of where we struggle creating content, because our whole thing is interviews.
Let me give you guys a gem. How long is your guys' podcast?
Like
a episode?
We try to say about an hour.
About an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my system, free of game, no charge. So that episode that we record about an hour to hour and a half. I'm a dad of 2. I'm a full-time dad. I work with my dad in pest control. I'm moving. I don't get back to my house until either late at afternoon or I'm always moving.
Right.
On Sunday night, I airdropped that whole hour podcast to my iPhone. It's in there. I go to the photos. I find the clip that I want. Take that clip. Go on CapCut. I find the 1.5-minute video that I really want and need.
Yeah.
And then this is how simple everybody is. That same video I post on TikTok. Once it's posted, it saves it to my device with the same sound that I use. That same video I post on Instagram. That same video I drop to YouTube Shorts. Boom. I have 3 videos off of one in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then it comes to about 8:30 p.m. at night. There goes my second video. So I'm dropping 6 videos a day with
So it looks like
help
you're
on my phone.
constantly updating your content.
100%.
Yeah.
We're too fast. Everybody's fast. Like we're hearing it the other day, and it's like, all right, there's 100 podcasts out here.
Right.
If you post once a week, that's great. But if I'm posting 5 times a day, who's most likely to be seen?
Yeah, that's
the
true.
5 times a day or the 1 time a day?
Yeah.
We're coming from an area where like nobody knows us because we're not famous. We weren't influencers. We're not made of millions of dollars to have this luxury life. We're made from the hustle and the grind because literally we look like everybody else from our own hood, but we're doing something so powerful, but so for consistency. Like we're 5 years in the game.
Yeah.
And up until year 3.5, we got our first money back. Once we started getting money, then that money we got, we upgraded our life a little bit, but we went back into the system. What happened? We created a merch.
Yeah.
Once we created merch, now we gave something tangible to the day one fans that follow us that bought something from us. So it's like, I love you guys. You guys are so amazing, but how can I be a part of your show without actually being your show? Well, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you wear something that has my name, you're a part of us. And because you bought this, we are able to do this at a whole nother level that we get to help out. Like we gave out our first giveaway when we did merch back with our friends. We gave out like almost $2,000 to people in San Diego. Boom. I'm not gonna say we didn't live a cool life because we got our good life too.
Yeah.
But from there, like we just did a giveaway for Valentine's, and it was for roses. Lady was so happy. Her friend set it up. Hey, well, here's another $300. That's gonna go a longer way. And again, it's just this. What you guys have here isn't cheap. It's not cheap.
No.
For everybody knowing, like,
And
thank God.
we're really lucky to have
Yeah,
Drew.
yeah,
So
thank
thanks
God for
Drew.
that collab.
3P, what up?
look, these mics are 100 each.
Oh yeah.
The Roadcaster is another 600.
Yep.
The cameras, ni se diga, that one looks expensive as hell, and I can't
Oh
afford
yeah.
that
Let's
one.
not talk about
But
that.
let's not talk. But the lights, I just bought. I call it the Sun. Was like almost $400. They're like,
They're expensive. Yeah. Everything is that goes into it now, production wise.
yeah. So it's expensive. So when they're like, oh, bro, I want to be like you. Do you really want to go through everything?
Yeah.
Because if you do, then all right, get ready
That's
with
part
your,
of the
with your
hustle.
money.
It's either that or you hustle to network with the right people.
I will tell you. I will say this: the guests that we had, have had on the podcast from day one until now, there was no necessity for anybody to help us, but they did, and I'm very appreciative of every single one. So when they're like, "What's your favorite episode?" I'm like, "I don't," because there's too many
There's
of
too
them.
many.
But I will say this: when somebody's already high up there, there's very few people that actually lend a hand to you. Like right now, we're collaborating, we're doing something great, but when I asked for help, no one came.
Mm-hmm.
No one gave me the secret to posting. They just said, figure it out. So when I figured it out and I surpassed everybody, they're like, oh, bro, you've been doing great. I figured it out myself.
Yeah.
So very few people in a count on my hand that I can really count on that like help guided me. But everybody else, bro, they don't want you to win because they know you're going to do better than them.
Right.
So they
So
don't.
let me ask you this. Who were your biggest supporters when you were first starting? Because I've always been told, and we were always told, your biggest supporters are the people who you don't even know. Whereas family,
It's true.
close friends, they're not even showing any support. And I'm not trying to
When I-
bang on them or anything
No.
like that, but it's true. The people who
Real
you know
deal, bro.
less are the
Yeah.
biggest supporters than the ones that you actually know.
Yeah. Biggest supporter, and I don't think I give her enough credit, the mother to my children. That she me aguantó, güey, me aguanto. And she said, I don't know what you're going to do, but all right.
It's funny you say that, and I don't mean to cut you
Yeah, go
off,
for it,
but
go for it.
it's funny you say that because David from Best of LA Food, he said the same thing.
Oh.
He's like, his wife told him, like, look, I get it. You don't want to do this whole 9-to-5 thing. Go and chase your passion, your dream.
Yeah.
And, with that, he went after it, and now he's collaborating.
doing amazing, bro.
He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
And that's his
he makes-
full-time gig.
Yeah, that's his full-time
Yeah.
gig, doing
Like,
features
straight up.
about food.
Yeah. So I got to give it to her. The other people to it is, it's funny because Pepe and Jose were actually in LA with me, but when I was like spiraling down, meaning like partying, just doing all the stuff we didn't need to be doing, I didn't need to be doing, literally, they would go out with me every now and then, but the one thing I always remember them telling me is like, hey, we'll see you later. We're not going to go with you. And the people that went with me were my yes people. Where are my yes people? I don't see them.
Yeah.
They're not around. So when I say like my two guys were here for when we had nothing, well, it's up to me to now repay them. So now that we have something, they're here. Like usually when we go to events, I don't go nowhere unless I could take everybody.
I like that. So most of let's talk about some of the content that you do put up on there. A lot of it is topical, like as far as like
Correct.
that you had one on about cheating and forgiving.
Suicide.
And then you had one on the suicide one.
Selfishness.
And then I saw that you have guests too. I mean, because I saw the Don Cheto one, and I also saw the Abner Mares interview too. So.
And then the most recent one with
Jaciel Núñez.
Okay, so like when you come up with these types of things, right? I mean, is this a collaborative effort? Like, I mean, do you guys just jump in and say, "Hey, we're gonna do topical stuff today"? We're just right out of the, or is it okay? We got a guest, so now we're gonna shift the light over there.
From episode 1 up until episode 193, so every episode, our purpose is to tell somebody's story.
Okay.
So meaning everybody could be in drama. I don't want your drama. I want what did you do? What did you go through? How'd you get here? Yeah. Abner, why were you so successful in the boxing game?
Yeah.
And to find out all his story, well, he's gonna remember the conversation, the meaningful conversation he had with us, because we didn't want him for his fame. We didn't ask him for nothing.
For sure.
Like, hey, do you want to come have a conversation with us? Boom. And his best friend showed up, which is Chiqui Rivera's his husband. And we just had a great conversation. But my thing is like, so for guys, right? When do we have our best conversation? In La Peda, when we're surrounded with each other.
Yeah.
And we're just grabbing our drink. Wait, pero me está pasando. And you get it. When you leave there, the next day you're like, dude, thank you for the conversation I had with you.
It's a sense of relief. It's a distressor for the guys. So it's our way to relieve our stress.
But who can replay that conversation? Nobody, because no one had a camera. No one was there.
Yeah. Exactly.
So my job is, I'm gonna put my camera. Let's have a conversation. Now, however deep you want to go, perfect. So when we talk about suicide, we've been through it. We've done it. When we talk about heartbreak, we've done it. But my thing now is, I want to be the voice for the people that don't have a voice or lost the opportunity to have it. Meaning the people that passed away, they can't talk no more.
That's right.
I got to do this. When the person that is so scared because no one's supporting them, loving them, they don't feel the love. Well, I know how you're feeling, so I'm going to talk about it, and I hope you relate to it, but I got your back.
Have any of these topics ever caused any issues within your circle or outside of your circle?
I would say outside my circle, yeah.
Yeah.
But in my circle, the people that are with me, they know the vision, they know the grind, they know the purpose. And when they get told how much they've helped out other people with their topics and like, oh man, I related to you and thank you, bro. That's my purpose.
Yeah.
Now the people outside, there's one of two things. It's either they don't like what I say because everybody's afraid of the backlash, or they just really don't like. I got laughed at when I said I'm doing a podcast. Now those same people that laugh are like, oh bro, you're doing cool stuff. You're with those. Yeah, but you laughed, bro.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, just have me on. Why? You're laughing at me. You're a joke. So why would I have you on? Now it's like, oh, you're partying with this person? Yeah, but I have a friendship with that person.
Right.
That's even better. Like one of my best friends from San Diego, I used to go to the fitness expos to go see him, and because I was a big fan. But now I can call him and he's my best friend.
That's awesome.
So it's just like, I don't need you for your fame. This is what, like, you could be famous and have all the money, but if you're really a POS, I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
So our thing is unapologetically, like, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I had to say it. And if it shoe fits, then that's something you got to handle, not me. Like, I'm very good with myself. Like, I think the only thing that anybody could tell me that I'll take it to heart is like, you're a bad dad. I know I'm not, but why'd you feel that way? Why'd you have to say that?
Okay.
Oh, you're emotional. You cry. You're. I don't care. I said it myself already, but you may feel that way. But the 100 other people that said we saved their life, that's why I did it.
So you're not afraid of showing emotion.
I
like that, bro.
Nah, hell no.
You know
bro,
what?
Not on this.
I stay very in the dark about showing emotion.
He's not. Yeah, I know he's that type. My dad was a hardcore Marine. Like, so I grew up in a that type of environment, and he wasn't a very emotional man or like showing emotion. You know what I mean? But he'd be the first to tell you all the time, like, yeah, I love you. and he wasn't afraid to do that part. So as a father, that was awesome. But when it came down to being like you were just saying, like that emotion as a man, you don't cry or whatever. I think that's bullshit. Like I you know, and as he got older, like I was able to tell him that, you know, like God rest his soul, rest in peace, pops. But like when he would pass, like he started to show a little more emotion, like getting towards the end of his life. Yeah. And you know, he died of cancer and all that other stuff. But I mean, I always find it weird that guys that hold that in, like, you know, it's like, it's like I'm so macho or I'm so whatever, like I don't do that. It's like, well, why? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it lets it go. Like
at what age did you start having those conversations with him? At what age?
Oh man, I didn't not until my 30s, bro. Like I mean, late 20s. Like you know that. But the thing is, he was that type of man that's like, nah, we don't. You know, that's not how we do it. I'm like, well, why? So like, what's wrong with that?
So for me to piggyback off of that, for me it was the fact that, and I'm gonna get to this. You and I have something in common. We both grew up in Baldwin Park, also known as BP.
Where is that? BP. The city of the first in and out. That's
the
city
of the first
right, baby.
Also known as the hub of the San Gabriel Valley.
That's right.
So my upbringing there was horrible. I didn't really get love from my parents. My parents didn't really show me love. My dad, when he was sober, I guess, well, you know what? No. It was more when he was somewhat drunk, before he got really drunk, that he would show, you know, his some love. My mom, I don't even remember the last time she showed me any love. It was violence, domestic violence. It was a broken down home. So yeah, I grew up with everything bottled in, homeless at 15, you know, meth addicted mother who then became homeless.
That's what I've always loved about your story. You know, like, you know, Rose, we've been friends for a very long time, and I've always enjoyed his passions, like about like, especially like we've done a lot of shows together. Like this is like our like third or fourth round on doing a show. Like I mean, we've done a lot of stuff together. And
we started off in Blogspot.
Yeah, like I mean, we started a lot of shows, bro. But I love his story, and I love that you guys in your way of like, you know, doing your podcast, you know, like a toast to life, where you just kind of be topical and just bring it up, and it is conversational, like with people, you know, and like the fact that you bring up like, you know, emotion and like the people that are supporting you and that type of stuff, you know, that goes a long way. I don't think people understand that though.
It's ours is what I want to be remembered for when I leave. Podcasting is our diary.
Yeah,
I like that.
When we leave,
I've thought about that too. Like it's a journal.
Shout out to Ricky from Fontana. He was probably like one of the first podcasts that ever invited me, and his partner was like talking about my kids, and he was like, "You know, your kids will be able to see this when they grow up, and they're gonna find out who Dad is." And I'm like, "You mother!" I was like, "Oh, you got me." But to my point, like, you guys saying about your parents, like we had a episode when we were like our second year in LA. Went super viral, you know, that's part of social media that happens. But it was an honest thing when I was like, bro, my dad, the Michoacan, was second oldest. Dad was never my grandpa, but according to everybody, abusive. Estaban madreados.
Your grandpa?
Yeah, never met him, but from my dad's side. But my dad came from a non-loving home. There was no affection, there was no nothing. Yeah. So I told him, I was like, did you guys ever think that if you tell your dad, I love you and I'm proud of you, do you think they heard that before? No. All they did was because they had to. Yeah. They had to go to work. They had to put food on the table, take care of the kids. So if they got drunk at night, it's because they earned everything because they worked hard, but they're the breadwinners. So at one point, this was already like 2-3 years into everything I was doing. Like I had a conversation with my dad because we used to go at it. Like I'm the head, he's the head, and we were just crash. And I never had a bad childhood. We just had bad moments.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all it was. And we, to a point of like, I remember me telling my dad when in high school, and I was like, you're not my dad, bro. Like, this isn't it. And growing up, I get to tell him like, hey, I'm sorry, bro. I should have never said none of that. I was like, but I love you and I thank you for everything you did.
That's awesome.
Boom, my dad's crying. So now if we get in an argument, I leave. And when I'm leaving home, I remember this one time we got into a bad argument. Gonna leave home, and he was ready to just like argue with me again.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, perdóname. No quise hacer eso. And he just hugs me and starts crying. I'm like,
wow.
I'm like changing this. So on the podcast, they were in Santa Maria. We're recording. It's all the boys. It was all my boys, and we're just like, we get into this conversation because to us it's meaningful.
Yeah.
I call my dad, and he was like, oh, ¿dónde andas? He was like, oh, aquí ya llegué. I was like, hey, nomás te quise hablar porque he employs me. Who's my main sponsor for the podcast? JLB Pest Control. He employs me. And
shout out Pops.
Shout
bro.
out JLB Pest Control. And I was just like, nomás te quise dar las gracias por ayudarme, creer en mí y por todo lo que has hecho. And I just hear his voice break. ¿Y qué tienes? ¿Andas bien? I was like, yeah. Pero nomás te quise decir ahorita que te amo, te quiero y te agradezco todo. Y all he said was like, eres mi mano derecha y vamos a salir adelante. And I was like, I owe him. He believed in me. I owe him. And again, to everybody, your content may not fit everybody, but it fits the right people.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's the conversations too that you may have on the podcast.
Oh, 100%. There was one, I ain't gonna say their name because they don't deserve it. But they clipped it twice already, but they do it in a mocking way, like, oh, I would never be able to. Well, that's why you're like that. But what does everybody do when somebody passes away? Oh, fuck, I wish I would have told them. I wish I would have. Well, why? They're here, bro.
That's so important.
They're here.
That's
Why
so
not have the
important.
conversation? Like with my friends, I don't leave my friends without hugging them and telling them I love them.
Love it.
My parents, my kids,
Same.
the people that I tell them I love you guys.
Yep.
Si mañana me lleva la verga, just know I love you. And
So-
there's never like for some.
Because the grudges, they go so long, and they can only and it just takes too much energy.
And I witnessed that with my
it's like,
family,
nah.
seeing them have grudges for like years
It's
on
like,
end.
for
So there was
what?
one side of the family and then another side of the family. It's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, why am I only going on this side? And why are we not visiting them?
'Cause you're right, 'cause when that
because
person
your tia over here
passes-
said this and that. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
You don't
Like,
want to carry that with you, right?
I
that
hold
shit's crazy,
very
man.
minimal grudges.
Same.
Now.
I
Like,
hold huge grudges. Once you hurt me, you're out of my life.
Really?
100%. But
Well, I mean, there's boundaries.
Yeah.
I get that. You have to put that border up. I
'cause
totally get that.
What was it? If someone did you wrong and you let them back in your life, it's like giving them the second bullet to kill you.
Okay.
They're still gonna do it. If they did it the first time, what stops them from doing it
And
again?
the second time.
So for me, it's not that I allow him back in my life. I'm more of like, you know what? We're good.
Yeah.
But I keep my distance.
Yeah,
now.
first
I
it
keep
was
my
a hug.
distance.
Now I just dab you up.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And you know, I was gonna mention, since we brought up the whole like, telling your dad you love him and everything. One of the reasons I started following your podcast was a reel that just popped up. Literally, it just popped up. You know how you scroll through reels, and it was a little kid talking.
Oh, Gage. Damn.
And he was
Memories.
asking the little kid, how do you see your dad?
Yeah.
He's my dad's a role model. And I'm paraphrasing, but the kid was like,
Nah,
and
shout
that
out.
hit me because,
Yeah.
I have an 8-year-old son.
What
My
episode
8-year-old
is that? What,
Oh, you gotta go through the.
Oh, it's
this
gotta
is
go.
like
It's gotta go
3
down.
years.
Oh, you went
This is
deep on that one.
Yeah, this
no,
is about 3 years ago.
I saved it. I'll send it to you.
Do you feel like your dad is a role model?
Definitely.
Why is that?
Probably because I look up to him.
What do you see that we don't see about your dad?
Probably his insides.
You see what your dad goes through on a day-by-day basis?
Yeah.
Do you take that in by yourself?
He tells me when we lay down.
I think we're all crying, dog. Your dad's a great man. He's done a lot, huh? You know your dad loves you? You love your dad? What's one thing that your dad has taught you?
To be though.
Dog. This is different, huh? I wanna tell you firsthand, you're the first dude that has ever made me cry on this podcast.
It really resonated on me because, again, I go back to not having any love growing up.
Yeah.
Basically throughout all my adolescent years, and even when I went on to college, I didn't have a solid like foundation where I can go and lean on somebody. I really didn't.
Yeah.
So when I started, when I had my first kid, it was like, loving them, showing love.
Yeah.
But I still felt like I was not doing enough. And even now, it got to a point where with my son hugs the crap out of me. Man. He is a hugger. And sometimes I'm like, bro, chill. But then I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, let him hug me. So every time he does that, I seriously go back to that damn video because I don't want my son looking at me like, well, my dad would push me away because I would hug him. And so he's taught me, as my daughter, my daughter has too, but my son has really taught me to say the word, love you. And I say it every time before like you said, before you leave anywhere. Yeah. And he will not let it go if I don't tell him love you. Yeah. See you later.
That's beautiful.
Dude, he's on me. So he's changed me in a lot of ways.
I think one of our videos that went viral, not just the video, but the voiceover on it was like your first child is the person you grew up with. Because one, you never knew how to be a dad.
No.
You never knew what love was. No. You never knew what to feed a kid or how to parent them. Like you're going through the first one. And I say that because like when I had my son at 24 when we became parents, and I mean everybody has an opinion. Do this, do that, do it this way, don't do that. And to the point, like I live a life that's like obviously not within the guidelines. Like don't do this. Like do this, don't go this way. So for me it was like everybody giving an opinion, and mine was like, this isn't your kid. Yeah. This is mine. I want my kid to live life the way I did, in the sense of when I realized what life really was. Be emotional intelligent. Chase your dreams, and that's what I'm doing, because I cannot be a hypocrite. I cannot tell my son to go follow your dreams if dad never did it. So what am I doing? I'm leading by example. Yeah. I'm doing it. So awesome. To the point, like with Gage, that's my friend Dre's son, who's now a teenager, bigger than him, probably beats him up and everything. But he was in the back, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Hey, do you mind if we do a couple clips for my son?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, bring him on, dog. Bring him on." Nothing planned. I didn't think it was anything of it. Posted it. It went super viral because, like you said, when I did it, my son I think was like 1 going to 2. And I'm like, I'm having a conversation with my son. And that's why I feel this way, because I'm recording while my son's at home. And I was like, no, like this is it. And I love that. Now, like, if I leave, like I only miss my kids' games if I travel for the pod. Right. If it's not having to do with the pod, I'm there. I pick them up from school. I'm with them every day. That's cool. But now it's like, hey, dad needs to go to the podcast.
You know, I have older kids, and my daughter's 28, and my son's 22. So I hang out with my kids, like I drink with them, I party with them, like sometimes, like I mean, and it's it is a lot, like, and some people are like, wait, and they always trip out too, like that's your dad, and then even my daughter's like, yeah, it's my dad. I mean, Rojo, he knows how my kids, and my kids are, my son's like, since they were my son's like 6'2" and like 280 pounds, and he like walks up, and they're like, then there's me, and they're like, wait a minute, and my wife, and she's all small, and then they're like, what you guys are just hanging out with them? We were with them last night right here in Pomona. My son DJs, and he was right here, and he headlined a gig right here at 11 o'clock at night, right there at Cosmos Lounge, right? Nice. And then that kid out there, he killed it. He does his thing. He's all about music. But the way what you guys both said about telling your kids, when you see them, when you're with them, I love you. I do that. I live by that. You know what I mean? Like I totally is that mindset, and I totally get what you're saying. Like, because it's super important to let them know. Now that my kids are older, though, like it does really carry, because now they do the same thing. Yeah. Now they're like, okay, dad, we'll see you later. Love you. I mean, these kids are like, they're grown adults. You know what I mean? But because the way you are as a parent
100%
reflects how
enough of this touchy stuff, dude. Let's get I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding, bro.
You're the type of person on my podcast where I'm like, I'm gonna break you right now, and I'm going for the gunner.
I love it, bro.
He's gonna go for that jugular. Yeah, I'm gonna make you cry.
I love it, bro.
That's my pod that's my goal, because I'm
so that's the type of content that people need to go for your pod. I love it.
You have to be vulnerable and ready to talk. That's why you ask, like, oh, what's off limits? Nothing, bro. Like, there's nothing off limits.
Yeah, because I did ask him that.
I let everything go.
You know what? My goal for this interview was not to be so structured like we usually are.
Yeah, we're
we gotta
pretty-
ask this question.
I mean, a lot
we'll
of
ask
people
this
see
question.
that we are structured
Yeah.
that way, but
And I kind of wanted this one to flow a little more. And yes, we want to know how your content was built, how you built your followers and all that great stuff. But I kind of wanted to get more deep into some of the things, like how your your come ups, your upbringing and your failures, your success. That way we can kind of like
100%.
delve into our own failures and success,
Yeah. Man. Nothing is ever perfect. Only perfect person is God.
Amen to that.
But honestly, the only thing you do is try. Like, there's only one way I got better at things is because I failed 100 times before the first time I got good at it. My system isn't hard. It's just about, are you dedicated? Are you passionate enough? And what's your vision on it? There's a thing like on podcasts. I don't know where the hell this is at, but it was like a statistic. Like, everybody that starts a podcast, they don't get past episode 10.
Remember that stat?
Yeah,
It's
they
like
don't-
they don't get past after a year. They're done.
a podcast fad or whatever.
Yeah,
They call,
like I think what's everybody? Oh, I have a story to say. I'm ready for a podcast. I'm like, but what's your goal though? Like I talk about my life almost in every pod, but there's a reason because every week, every day I go through something. So when I get to Fridays when we film, I'm like, I heard this and I gotta say this. And if I say this, someone's gonna resonate with it.
yeah.
But my biggest thing, and I tell this to everybody, you have so much content. What good does it do to you if you have it on your phone or on your laptop? No one's seen it. The only person that knows how great of a content it is you. But if
like
I
your-
know how good you are,
It's like your photo album on your
yeah,
iPhone.
if you saying all this, like you're so good and you do this, show it. Let the world see it because I know you guys are great men, but I need the world to see it. Once they see it, because the thing about Baldwin Park, right? And I have this thing. I love my city, but
That's
but my city didn't ever claim me until now where I'm doing it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, of
because,
course.
Because it's about friends, it's about your surroundings. And I told my high school kids and I tell my friends, be bigger than the city you're from. Once you make it big, everybody ties you back to where you're from.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think Baldwin Park will ever accept me ever again because the moment I left,
You
I
don't
was
know
out.
that for sure.
I was out.
Yeah, like now I'm a resident of the IE now.
I
Yeah.
wanted no part of Baldwin Park the moment I graduated. I up and left.
Yeah.
I never went back.
Never
It's
went
just
back?
too many. I mean, there was some cool, moments and stories that I can say, but for the most part, it was bad.
Like
it was bad.
My one of my best friend, he has a restaurant in La Puente, and we have this back and forth about just social media and
Bridgetown.
about
Shout out La Puente.
yeah. So
La Puente.
he's like, I've known this kid for 15 years, my best friend, and I'm like, bro, like your food is so amazing, bro. Like I love this.
What's
I
the restaurant again?
It's called the Bambino Felice in
Ooh.
City of La Puente, right next to the Planet Fitness. So if you don't want to work out, go eat instead. And I tell him, I was like, look,
On Hacienda?
on Hacienda,
Yeah.
Hacienda
Yeah.
Francisquito.
Yeah.
And
Right
I
there
tell
by
him,
that
I'm
pizza
like,
joint. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel you, Scardino's.
But Bambino has better.
Bambino. Bambino has better
Bambino.
pizza.
Yeah,
bro.
better pizza. I tried it.
I love it.
And I tell him like social media, bro. Like you're so good at what you do. You guys are great.
Right.
But the person in the other city doesn't know you.
You don't know that.
So that's the social media part of it, part of option. If you don't post, no one will see you. We're huge in LA. I don't live in LA. We're huge in Texas. I
don't live in Texas.
I don't live in Texas. Arizona, like we went to Orlando for the first time working with Ticketmaster, and we interviewed this dude at the Inter Miami game, and it's all fun and games until he says, "Hey man, I know who you guys are. I watch you guys." I'm like, "You're bullshitting." I was like, "Show me your phone." Phone pulls it out. We're following us. I was like, we're all the way across the country following us.
That's
we went to
huge.
Washington. Same thing happened in Washington. We're going to Denver in a week. People in Denver are already looking for us. So I'm like, this is why.
What? So when you plan this type of stuff, and Rojo brought this up earlier about like getting guests and stuff like that, or like the travel part where you guys go and do those things on location. Do you take care of all that, or is it just a collective effort, or how does that go about for your process?
So we're going with Ticketmaster for the Denver versus Phoenix game, but everybody knows once we're done with that, we're gonna film a podcast.
Yeah.
Because in order for it to be a tax write-off, it has to be a show. But, so when we go to San Diego, so our favorite thing is going to San Diego. It's probably like our
Love San
second,
Diego.
our first city if it wasn't here in LA. And we're gonna go. Say hypothetically, we're going this weekend. Hey guys, we're gonna go in a week. The game plan is to record a podcast in the room. We don't do anything fancy. We just get a room at the Hard Rock or at the Marriott. We record in the living room. We do about maybe an episode, maybe 2 if we have another guest.
Cool.
Once we're done, let's go have fun. That's all it is. But we go to work. We don't go nowhere unless we're working. We're in Santa Monica. We work for 2 hours, and then we had our fun. But
Work first.
Yeah. So everybody, like, shout out to I don't know if you guys ever been to Boyle Heights, Marisco Cuatro Vientos.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never been there, but I have.
I know about it. Haven't been there.
Best Mariscos, but
It's a little hole in the wall, right?
Yeah. He had like 3 literally on the same street. Amazing restaurant, even better person. There's one thing he said was like, primero lo que deja y luego lo que pendeja. If we so when we go to San Diego, we check in at 11. From 11 to 5 p.m., we're working. Once 5 p.m. happens, let's go party.
Yeah.
Let's have our fun. Let's enjoy this. Yeah. That's just naturally us. But it's everybody in the same purpose. Hey, we're gonna go here. This is our work. All right, cool. What are we doing? Today we're gonna play the card game, and then the second episode we're gonna have our friend Chris or your social media guy. Boom, perfect. But we have a purpose. It's like, all right, today we need to talk about also like trending topics. We do our research. Right now, what was popping for us last year was casi algos, relationships, and all that thing. And we're like, the moment you say casi algos, everybody's like, I had one. Oh my God.
Casi algos.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
So the casi algo is basically the person you want to be with, but never ended up being with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Casi algos.
The casi algos.
Interesting.
Or like
that would be ooh.
or like a perfect person,
Ooh,
wrong
I
time, and everybody's like, nah, if they were perfect, then it would have worked out. And then it turns into this whole conversation. Like our thing is, can we spark up the conversation?
Yeah.
But again, I go back to no one knows how great this is unless you post it. So if you post the content, like it's easy for us because we have a podcast. That means I have a whole hour and a half worth of clips that I could do. All I got to do is just do it.
Yeah.
All I got to do is post it. And if you talk to our editor and the guy that posts everything, I'm going to tell you, we do it every day and we don't miss because I do it all. Like I have my camera guys, but the one who edits and posts is me. I'm in control of everything because at the end of the day, for me, it's like, if I don't do it, who am I to blame?
Yeah.
Can't blame nobody else.
So,
you know what I mean?
in regards to your podcast, and I know you've brought on guests, very well-known guests as well. When you first were bringing on guests, how hard was it to line them up? Because I'll tell you right now, again, the fact that you even responded, I was like, oh, crap. He actually said, he actually said what's up, and he followed us right away, and he said what's up. I've been ghosted by a few, and so I was mentioning this off the air. Is that I reached out to a UFC fighter and I just, shot my shot, Hail Mary. And he said, I'm down. I was like, and I told him, I kept blowing up his phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, call me back.
Yeah.
I freaking landed D-Rod, and he's from the SGV.
Hey.
And, but since then, I haven't heard from him.
That's how it works though sometimes, right?
And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. No disrespect to him. Shout out to him for even
he might come over and kick your ass, bro.
I don't want him to kick my ass. But I'm humble enough at the fact that he said I'm down. But I get it, We're a small podcast, and he's now training for his next upcoming fight, which is, I believe, in May.
So his focus is
shout out
probably
to
different
him.
right
I
now.
still rock with D-Rod. I'm always rock with him.
And D-Rod, if you want to come on the show, man, please hit us up. We're down.
Also, before you get to your answer, is that I've also reached out to people who are still trying to come up that are local to the IE, and I don't get no response from them.
They're too good.
It's like, what? Dude, it's
good.
not like you're the big time.
Yeah,
you can give me a simple no.
So, learning, because we've had, how you said, we had amazing guests on the pod before we actually had monetary return and even a bigger following. But one thing I did, to the conclusion, and it was very simple, is everybody looks at your following. What's your reach? So when we landed these big people, we knew some amazing people already, and they kind of like helped us out. But when we hit up like Abner saw our following and our videos reached them. He's like, oh, I've seen your videos before. Oh, so we reached you already. Before you even knew us, we already reached you. So my face is familiar. And we've had guests that not ghosted us, but like day of, hey, you know, I can't go. Or the day before, hey, you know what, we got to reschedule. That's fine. But we did have a moment for, if you go through our podcast, by the time we ended last year, up until maybe from July, then we had very few guests. Because what happened with us was the same thing. One, this gives a lot of energy. Once we're done here, I'm sure all of us are gonna be like, we gave everything.
Yeah.
And you know, I got to a point where we're having guests, and at the same time, I was like, the last guest we had didn't feed our show right because they came with not the right mentality. I'm like, that wasn't what I wanted to get out of this. And content-wise, our guests are not gonna see this. Bottom line, I was like, you know what? We're gonna do an internal podcast, which is just a group, and we're gonna see where it rolls. We had that. Boom. Videos popped off that week. About 5 million views on TikTok. Boom. I'm gonna 5 million turned into some good money. Boom. Next week, guys, we need to redo this. If it's working, let's replicate this.
Damn.
And we started. It
Don't
was just
fix what ain't
literally
broken.
Yeah. It was just us. And what we did notice was people already had a connection with me because I'm on the pod every time. But now having my team, now there's 4 different personalities. Everybody's getting a feel for this. Now everybody's getting related to, and I was like, you know what, guys, it's gonna be us. We're gonna record all the podcasts. If we find a guest that's worthy enough to, like, opportunity-wise, perfect. But if not, hey, we do this.
We're moving on.
We're moving on. So our following that from Instagram and TikTok blew up because of us. Our videos were going in 10 million, 100. Instagram, too many pages were just redoing our videos. Everybody just following us, and we're like, all right, now it's us. Now we did our merch, we did everything. Now everybody falls in love with the Toast of Life because who's a part of a Toast of Life?
By the way, it's a great name too.
Yeah.
Toast of Life.
Oh yeah. So real
you.
quick,
It's a
we're
great name.
talking with Luis. He has a podcast, A Toast to Life, and he is on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Go ahead and head on over there and give them a follow right there. They're everywhere. They got a ton of content and video. And when you guys started this, 21, I guess, right?
21.
Yeah. And then, you know, I mean, obviously the growth spurts took a long time. So, I mean, you would say nobody was really watching like my first 10, 15 videos maybe. But what would you say the where it catapulted to, like, boom, everybody's watching this now?
Thanks for stealing my question. Just kidding.
Wait, it wasn't in the notes, jerk.
Catapulted, I would say the video with Little Man, with Gage, that definitely sparked everything. But it's so funny that now I definitely don't do this, and it's been for like 2 years. But I used to timestamp everything with our logo. A Toast to Life on every Instagram reel or TikTok, you would see A Toast to Life there. Mm-hmm. So there was one time on Instagram where I was watching it was Drink Champs.
Oh yeah.
DJ Khaled was on there, and then he said something about God believed in me, so I'm able to do this. All I did was, you know what, I'm gonna repost this, put our logo on there. Que se vaya bien. A week later, my boy was like, bro, congratulations. What are you talking about? Bro, DJ Khaled reposted this video. No one knows it was us, but because he reposted the reel, we went from like 10,000 followers to 30,000.
Damn.
Because he's just blowing up. I was like,
Damn, dude,
okay.
that's awesome.
So now it's just anybody that's gonna follow you and mess with you, they need a certification. They need to know why. Biggest thing is your following. If your following isn't up there, they kind of look at you like, all right, if you're 100 episodes in, why aren't you growing? Mm-hmm. I have friends people that I know that had a podcast that were 300 episodes in, but at my 100th, I already surpassed them by a long shot. But I'm like, why aren't they growing? What are they doing that's not working? Right? Because every episode, every week, my goal is how can we get better? How can we grow? How can we get monetized? And that's our thing. It's if I'm gonna go 200 episodes in, from episode 1 to episode 200, what's the difference? Well, now we have our insights on TikTok. It's like anywhere from 5 million to 10 million a week. Boom, it's great. Instagram, we're growing at least 2,000 to 3,000 a month followers.
That's awesome.
But I'm focused on what's working. What's working? Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts. You can post a picture, it does cool, but
not like video content.
Reels is gonna pop up at one point, and you're gonna, once it pops and catches wave, it's winning. So
Did you ever have to use like boost reel? No, never. Interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
I saved my money. Hell no. Well, most of it too, because I didn't have money like that, you know?
No, I get you.
So my thing was like, if I'm posting 10 times a day or 10 times a week, one of them has to give. If I'm going 10 times a week, but I'm posting for 4 weeks, 40 videos, one of them is gonna have to pop. And that's what happens. I give myself 40 chances for it to pop. And out of the 40, maybe 2 or 3 go. Perfect. Every video isn't a million, but every video, like, what was this? We have 1,000 views, right? To us, it's like, bro, that's a little bit. But 1,000 views in the actual, like, if you put people in auditorium, 1,000 people is a lot of people.
Yeah,
it is.
Oh, 50,000 only, but 50,000, you're filling up a stadium.
Oh yeah.
So we're just like, all right, we gotta just boom. But we gotta give people what they want. Why should they come and listen to us? Why? And I give it to them. I'm like, all right, well, everybody's looking for you doing better in life, because if you're living this influencer lifestyle, you should be doing better.
Right.
One thing I give to our team is we're gonna be doing good, we're gonna look good, we're gonna travel, do our thing, but we're actually gonna be living this life. I will tell you right now, a lot of these influencers have millions of followers, don't got nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, we can.
A lot of it is rented or bought.
Bro, some of them don't have cars, some of them live it with mom. Respect to all of you guys, but I'm like, your priorities are different. How can you pop a bottle and then still live at mom's?
So like one of your videos that I
agree.
see, or one of your reels, it really resonated with me just because of the fact that you were talking about, like, man, 5 years ago, who would have ever thought I'd be in this position? You were in your car. And it really like struck me like, man, we can be there. We just have to do, obviously we have to do the groundwork. We have to do this, we have to do that. And I sent it to him just for motivational purposes. And, you know, like I said, it really resonated a lot. I'm just like, we did a podcast for 5 years. Went nowhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like,
and it was 4 of us.
Yeah.
And 4 of us that great minds.
I think it's something that long. It's something's wrong. Like,
right.
If you're like, there's a couple podcasts that have been together for 5 years and no sé qué, and I'm just like, well, why aren't you growing?
Right.
And I get it, because how you said earlier, like, one of them fell off just because it's like.
And he has a successful podcast right now.
Nice.
He does.
Nice.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to him.
My guys, why should my team stick around if there's no monetary return?
Yeah.
I have to figure out a way. How can we
Monetize it.
So when I say we went from 0 figures to 6 figures, it's because we put in groundwork. But it was just, I mean, if you look at our posts, we have so many posts, and we gave us an opportunity. But now we have the right person in front of us that leads us correctly with management. But for us, it's like, if you're not trying to better yourself every week at every episode, then you shouldn't be doing this at all.
Yeah.
And my rule is like, be obsessed. If you're not here, if you're gonna lose sleep and you're thinking, well, why me? Why do I? Then don't do this.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do it, but are you willing to do it? And everybody on my team, we've suffered individually, and then we suffered together. And it's just like, now where we have cool money and cool opportunities, we're like, bro, we wish for this. We wanted this. Now that we have it, it's like I have this thing with God will put you in the right position, but if you're not ready, you're gonna miss it.
I point at him because
you know what?
I'm very pushy. I'm probably worse than his wife in calling him and texting him. Then I'll call him again, leave him a voicemail, call him again.
I appreciate it though.
He ignores the fuck out of me. But,
no, come on, Drew, you ain't helping me over here, bro.
I'm very, like you said, I am obsessed. I am passionate about this.
You know what?
We can let's make some money. I don't care if we're only making 500, but we'll make it grow.
Yeah, and but honestly, this project here has been a little bit better than a lot of our other projects, because we've done a lot more with this project, because the other ones were flat out, all just putting in the work stuff. But you're right, and I appreciate that about you, and that's why I think I still grind with you, because I know that there's that spark that he has, and to my fault, I have so many other projects, like, I write music, I record, my son records, I help him record. I also do other videos with him too, like streaming stuff, and then we do this, and so like I know like I have so much, and then of course a full-time job, and then being a you know, a husband and a father, that type of stuff, right? And there's a lot of balances, you know, going on, and that's not an excuse, you know what I mean? Like, but it really does where where like you were saying, there's some things you have to shed away where you're like, in order to prioritize and put the focus on, you know, like. And when you know, jump into editing, like we were talking about editing and stuff like that, and when you jump in the seat to do some editing, you know you're gonna be there for a few hours. You know you gotta lock in, and sometimes you get these little distractions where, like, because you know, kids or family or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess because like he is that way, you know, like, and it helps me. And I never told him. This is actually the first time I'm actually telling him this right now. You know, like that it is that drive that inspires me. And I keep going at him like that because it's like, man, I don't have like too many people that do push me like that, you know. And I know that it's your wife and stuff like that. Are there other guys on the pod though that do it, that have that same push, or is it just you pushing them too?
Nah,
like kind of like he does with me.
if the circle you're around doesn't motivate you to be better, then that's not your circle. Everybody at my table that we all build together, I need to show up with something, and that's me being what I do. Everybody comes to the table with something, with a plate. It's a potluck.
Yeah.
When you go to a potluck,
Yeah.
everybody has to bring a plate.
It's a great way of putting it.
Instead of, like, I've been around people that instead of bringing something to eat, they bring up their own plate just to take, and then they leave and they give nothing back. Everybody on my team motivates me to be better because I need to lead, and if I don't lead right, then that means they're gonna lose out on certain things. But they also do their work. So when we all come together, we all have something to offer. That's why in our management, like, we get paid cool money because we have so much depth. My biggest thing the last couple of weeks is how much depth do you have in who you are as a person? Outside of this, what do we do? Who are we?
All right.
I'm Luis. This is
what I do.
100%
Yeah.
me. 100% me. If this shuts off, I can figure something else out, but I'm motivated. When we go to San Diego, I think San Diego is my wake up call, because my friends in San Diego, they're, man, 500,000 millionaires.
Damn.
And I'm like,
Ooh.
what the hell am I supposed to offer these people that they
Yeah.
can't afford already? And it was like, I just built a platform where we get everybody seen, and now we get cool money. But again, I think what we get paid now doesn't like balance out the 4 years that we spent so much time, effort. Like, there's too much. I lost everything to the point to now I have something I'm building back up.
How did you land management or manager?
Oh man, right people, right time, but also doing our thing consistently. So shout out to Joe. She's our life changer, Miss 33 Av. She represents some good friends of ours, Jorge and Adriana Peranoche. And we went to their baby shower. Everybody's having fun, everybody's drinking. And we seen her before. We're like, dude, Jorge and Adriana are huge right now, popping, getting all these brands. We need to get there. Because we were managed by somebody too. And no shots to him. It's just, you know, he wasn't the best fit for us. We made no money, no opportunities. So I'm like, if I'm paying but not getting money back,
Yeah.
so I need money because I'm a dad, bro. Like,
Yeah, for
sure.
I got,
Yeah, you got
Edison.
mouths to feed, bro.
Edison is calling me to pay the light. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? We need to talk to her, and we liquid courage, me and Pepe, and spent an hour talking to her. Like, what does it take to get managed by? Well, what's your goal? I don't. She'll tell you to this day, she never managed any podcast.
And at that time, were you guys already having a big following?
Oh yeah. We're
Okay.
already having a big following.
Okay.
She didn't take on us because we were nobodies. She took on us because she saw my vision, she heard it, she understood it, and she said, "All right." Because she never represented a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
She represents foodies. She represents influencers. She's never represented no podcast. So she was like,
Maybe she'll represent Tapped In Media.
yeah.
Hey.
So she was just like, well,
I'm
let's.
not gonna stop that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
So she was just like,
You put it out
all
there.
right, well, what do you want? I was like, hey, well, we want to do this. She was like, all right. And this is where, you know, you have to be receptive to criticism. She was like, you guys do great following, great views, but this is not something I could take to the brands. You have to divert a little bit. So that's when we got into going to the street and doing our videos outside. That's when we started doing different segments. And she was like, this I could take. So she was like, I represent people that don't depend on me to bring them work. They do their own work, and then all I do is bring in them opportunity, and when they're ready, they have it. So we landed Ticketmaster first, went great, cool. We're like, wow, this is for us. And then we landed Pepsi and the Chargers.
Damn.
It was
That's
cool because I
awesome.
got an opportunity to do QuickBooks with my jefe.
And you guys
So-
did Ticketmaster in the ATL with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, so that's our partnership with Ticketmaster for 6 months. So this was October, I got the call that, boom, you guys are going with Ticketmaster for 6 months. This is the price. And when I have the video up, and it's a call with my manager, and it's life-changing because everything I worked so hard for is finally coming to fruition, but I get to do it with my best friends. And now everybody gets to travel and everybody gets to go. And she's like, we're just on the road, bro. Like, I'm receptive to what she tells me, and everybody's receptive to what I tell them. And it's just, there's a difference between podcasting and working with brands. There's a lot of influencers that don't have brands because their name is tainted. Big brands, Walmart, Pepsi, they're not gonna touch you if they search up your name and a red flag comes up. They're like, nah, we're not gonna touch them.
Right.
And there's a lot of influencers that don't get touched because they're just blacklisted.
That sounds like our last podcast.
They're just blacklisted. So us, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, never will be. But on our page, you won't see us post anything that's gonna get us canceled.
Right.
I've had drama. I'm not saying I've never had, but I'm not one to post it.
Right.
I just talk on the podcast, and when that video goes viral, the shoe will fit. But it's because someone felt that way too. But I'm like, never come at me because I could talk to a podcast. I'm not gonna drop your name, but I'm gonna talk about a situation to bring to light to somebody else. But when we go out, I don't post us drunk. When we go out, I don't post us doing anything because we truly we're trying to walk a righteous path. But also, if we fuck up, then the money gets fucked up.
That's right.
And if the money gets fucked, then we're fucked.
And what-
Speaking
no.
of a situation, I know you posted something. You said nothing's off the table. So I
Go for
really
it.
wanted to know because you posted this reel or it's a post actually.
Yeah.
And you're basically talking. It almost sounds like you're.
A love letter, bro.
Yeah, it's a love letter. You were brokenhearted.
Everybody does. Yeah. I would say this, bro. The thing about podcasting, we're the voice for the people that will never speak upon certain topics. So we do it. I just add my own razzle dazzle because that's just like me sale del corazón. Everybody's been brokenhearted.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the moment I was broken, and I remember how I felt. That's where it comes from. So I'll show you guys the page off of camera. But it's a book on Instagram, and they post quotes and text messages, but it's all about like love, letting go, healing. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this quote here, but I'm gonna add more to it because I felt this, but I know there's more to this. And then two, it's strategic. I'm telling you guys, Instagram, TikTok, they pay you for a minute more. Where's a minute? How can you get a minute clip by doing content? Well, we talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Usually now clips are like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but again, that's your monetary. That's your return for your videos. And these videos that I post about love, letting go, they all been real situations, but I'm healed. It's just, bro, don't be sad. I'm not sad. I'm really not sad. It's just like, I need to talk for those people that are in this position.
Right.
And there's hundreds.
There's plenty of people that are
out there.
going through that right now.
And our thing is just like, I'd rather say it because I need them to hear it. And I'm glad you're hearing it from us because now we also grow bigger, but we get relatable with everybody. And the biggest feeling is when people come to you and be like, bro, your message helped me. What you said, man, I felt that. So, I mean, there's so much strategic to our posting now that it's if I tell you how we really do it, everybody's like, God damn, en serio? I mean, think about it. If I'm posting maybe twice a day times 3 different platforms, I'm at 6 times 5 days, I'm at 30 videos. Plus the weekends, I'm maybe posting 2 videos a day. Then I'm still posting like about 30 to 35 videos a week. You're not gonna outwork me because I'm really working. I'm really working.
Yeah.
But again, it's just I heard it from like Mr. Beast. He was like, if people like want to be like me or in the position I'm in, but if you really knew how much it takes for me to do this, I don't think you really want to do it.
Right.
Because you're
Because
alone.
some of the dedication and the hard work. on it.
Dedication, but I would say, like I said, I'm not a perfect man, and I messed up some situations where I'm alone, bro. Like, you know, I'm a great father. I'm there, but there's some things that had to fall apart.
Oh, dude.
And now when they fall apart, now I'm trying to make up back for it. But number one priority, it's my pod, because that's what feeds everybody and myself, my kids, my friends, and everybody. And then it lands to me. I'm the last in the list, but
Yeah.
because I know I could take it. I speak about mental health 110% because it's a real thing. But if I pay attention to mental health,
And I work in mental
then,
health.
Yeah, if I paid attention to them, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's too many days, too many nights that you spend alone. And in this path that we go, it does get lonely, but the reward is endless.
Yeah. No.
But
doubt.
it's just like, are you willing to outwork the other hundreds of thousands of people that are in the same position?
Yeah.
What makes you different? I
Right.
am. I'm ready to go because my friend Chris, he was just like, if you knew everything you had to give up in order to be in the position, would you? I would tell you probably not.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't, because I'm like, damn, I lost all that just to get here.
Some of the sacrifices that go behind it.
Yeah,
People don't get that.
100%. You can't be so successful and not lose out on something.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling my friend yesterday. I was like, bro, like I'm not a good friend. I'm a piece of shit. He was like, nah, bro, you're a great friend. I was like, nah, you know what? Because if I'm a great friend, that means I'm not a great dad. If I'm not a great dad, that means I'm not a great entrepreneur. Because we know how much it takes to entrepreneurs. So I don't believe in balance. I believe in teeter-totter. I'm gonna put attention this side. The other side is gonna get unbalanced. You know. So it's a lot of work. It is very rewarding, but it does get lonely. And for people to believe you, like in the sense of like my parents, it's just they don't believe it until they see the what comes with it.
The reward.
The reward.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
like
exactly.
¿Vas a hacer videos? Yeah. ¿Cuánto te pagan? My dad's, ¿cuánto te pagan? Nah, well, right now, nothing. Right now, nothing,
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
And so I showed him the first check of when we went to Orlando. I was like, Dad, they're gonna fly us out to Orlando. Everything paid. This is how much you're gonna pay me. I started crying. He's like, proud of you, mijo.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm like, hey, you know, whatever I make here, I make over there a little bit more. It's like, and then now, because I put my pops on podcasts too, like, just like I talk about it in videos and
Yeah.
stuff. So when he goes to the bank, they were like, oh, tú eres el papá de Toast of Life? And then I love my dad, bro. Like the shirt, this one, and one of my first shirts, he wears it all the time. And I'm just like, damn, dog. Like,
He's proud of it, bro.
My dad
That's
wearing this.
awesome.
Number one fan.
So now with like all the jobs that we do for pest control, oh, I seen you on the podcast, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, I knew that was you, but I didn't. I was like, bro, I work a regular job. I do regular things. I go to hole in the wall bars. Like, I'm nobody big.
That's
I
the
have-
hustle, man.
I have
love
fun,
it.
but we stick to us, bro.
Down
10
to
toes
earth.
down. 10 toes down,
Yeah.
100%.
Hey, real quick, Luis, promote your stuff for us, man. Across the board, like I mean, I know we kept pushing it, but tell
Go for it.
tell everybody, like, you know, where obviously the YouTube channel, of course, but
Ooh.
tell us
Alright.
everywhere, man.
All right, so you can search us up, A Toast of Life Podcast, on every single platform, meaning TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Everywhere.
X, Threads, and then to listen, like those are our clips, but to listen to the full podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can find us anywhere at A Toast of Life Podcast, or just search up. It's cool now. The moment you search up A Toast of Life, we pop up. So
That's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, man. This was cool. Like honestly, like
appreciate
I
you guys.
saw you know the content that he sent me, and I mean Rojo put me on, you know. So like I subbed and, you know, like checked it out, because we always say, you know, give a sub, give a like, because that really is what helps
Yeah.
you grow.
I started
And
doing
it's
that
that
too.
simple, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I listen to a podcast I listen to. It's always they start and then like, man, well, if you guys want us to keep doing this, please subscribe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I don't tell nobody to do that.
No, yeah, but it really, I mean, that's kind of what
That's
helps,
kinda what you wanna do
pushes
is-
along.
yeah.
Because as we see stuff grow too, and I know we, you know, we hammer it over. We're always like, oh, give us a sub, give us a like. Really, that's all we need from you. We're not asking for you to send us, you know, like a Patreon, or like, you know,
Yeah.
you send us $10 here or whatever. We're not trying to
Yeah.
do that, but
It's
we're
free to sub.
It's free to sub, and
Free
it's
to
free to
follow.
like, and it's free. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And you know, I love the story that you know, getting you in here in the studio right here, you know, to talk about it, man. It's very inspirational, and I
Not only-
think that's why people have that connection with you
100%.
when they watch the pod. You know.
Yeah, not only that, I think it was great information that you gave us, especially
sure.
for us, because like I said, we're trying to grow something as
Yeah.
well, and you're perfecting it. We're trying to learn from somebody like you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's gonna take for us to, because our platform is based on interviews. So we got to figure out how it is that we're going to be able to build content or create content
with other people,
to be able to
because
post,
we did
like you
that-
said, every day, and that's where we're missing right now.
Yeah. Well,
because we did the topical thing, like we
Yeah.
did all that, we did the game show stuff, we did a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
And it was
And it was
cool.
all audio,
But
though.
it was all audio, and we were like, we kind of want to change something up different,
Yeah.
like and having people like engaging with people like yourself and like with David and like even the Styles and all the other interviews that we've already done before. We kind of like, this is a little bit better because the energy is just different. Like him and I can do it all day, but
Yeah.
it's you gotta be receptive to what's happening now. You guys come from the radio.
yeah,
It's a harder job because you need something to talk about every day. We prepare for a week and then we post, but no one understands that. Like, I'm a visual learner, right? If you tell me listen to this, I'm gonna go do this instead. I'm a visual learner,
No
so
doubt.
I need to see something in order to believe it and to feel the conviction of somebody. I listen to Eric Thomas because when he speaks, it's raw emotion. It's in his voice. I'm like, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, hey, bro, go do a great job. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, dude, be the fucking best you can ever. You're like, oh, damn, that's the way you said it. Okay, I'm gonna start
Yeah.
assessing it. So in podcasts, when we do, it's not too hard to start, but it's very hard to stay relevant.
Maintain.
Because everybody does it. If you're only on audio, where no one's really on audio no more. Like I think we have right now a week, maybe 7,000 listeners on audio, but I have 1 million viewers.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta give them what they need and what they want.
yeah.
But again, we're mixing everybody into one, but you gotta see where your audience, and two, you have to be true to who you want to be. What's your overall goal? What's your purpose? Where do you see yourself in 20 episodes? I want to keep sharing stories.
Yeah.
I'm 100 and what today will be 194. I'm looking at the 300 mark of like where and who we're gonna have. The bigger you grow your Instagram and your socials, the more solidified you are with these big guests.
Yeah.
That's 110%. We landed Haciel because I do have a cousin that works in that in La Disquera in Doble P Records. But when he sent it to his team, they saw the blue check mark, they saw the following, they saw the views. Now he's like, there we go, we can have him. And I promise you, this is just a trifecta. Haciel happened. We got a call from a legendary grupo, banda, that they want us to record like podcast with them in a week. And then another big time artist that just happened. I was telling you, they circled back with us, and they're like, "Hey, we wanna sit down with you guys." But it's because
That's awesome.
Becky G has reposted us. I think a month ago, Karim Leon reposted our video that we did in San Diego, in a hotel room. Production was low cost, but he reposted that video, and I was telling my guys, I was like, you know what? It's cool that they were posting us because people are seeing us.
For sure.
It's a great
Good
reward for
promo.
us. Good promo. But they're not going to come on our podcast unless they have somebody that they knew come on our show. Because now if they see us and they get asked, oh, you want to go on the podcast? They're going to be like, hey, you went to their podcast. How was it? Oh, it was great. They did this. Boom. Or they seen it. They seen all our structure. Like, I can show you guys our notes for Haciel. And when I showed it to the manager, they were like, oh my God, you guys wrote all that?
Oh,
Boom.
damn.
Oh, we listened to like 2 different podcasts and we just came ready for him.
That's a lot of notes.
That's awesome.
And they were just like,
Good
wow,
research.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, because there's so much more to get. These are big artists, big guests.
For sure. You
But-
want to be prepared. You don't want to go in there looking
Yeah.
like,
Which is
half-assed.
why we
Yeah.
We do that a lot, like, and we used to get a lot
Yeah,
of
no,
shit.
I'm seeing this.
Yeah, we used to get a lot of
This is
shit
great.
for it.
Yeah,
We did
no,
a
it's-
lot, but it helps us just keep our heads on and get a little focus, and then kind of bring it back home. Like
Yeah, I will tell you guys, bro. I think my learning and understanding what we do, you are the content. People are gonna come and listen to you guys, not only because of the guests you have, but because they have great hosts. How did the host direct it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
think that's
like,
a big
like
major part of it.
I want to hear more of your story because your story it's probably 10 other people's story.
True.
Those 10 other people are going to post it. 5 of those are going to follow
Yeah.
a new one. So it's just like, why should I come and listen to this podcast when I can listen to 10 other ones? Well,
And
because
that
of me.
that
You know
is
I
what
mean?
I'm always thinking about. And dude, I woke up at 5 a.m. just thinking about that. Like, what's it gonna take for us to get
I love your enthusiasm.
grab the
bro.
attention of people so that they can plug in their ear and hear us out?
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
because we're not just some regular people just trying to put together some
No,
shitty
man,
interview. No,
it's
we're trying to put together content and interview somebody who has made a success out of it,
Yeah.
something we're trying to do, and maybe that what that person's trying to do, and at the same time share our stories
yeah.
of
Right.
failures
Oh yeah,
that we've had.
a lot of
Yeah,
them.
like honestly, because it's hard to get a guest in because everybody
Yeah.
got to make time to come in.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
But-
That's why we do some Zoom stuff. So like, I mean, because it is hard
Yeah.
to get them,
You and your
to
Zoom.
come and hang
But
out.
I
It
would-
was nice for you to come
Yeah.
out here though, bro.
Yeah,
That was dope.
I love it. I was telling everybody, they're like, "Wow, you're gonna guest on a pod." I was like, "Well, I got a lot to say." I've been super reserved. Like I don't.
That's cool
I don't
though.
go a lot of places with anybody. I don't talk to a lot of people. I give minimal energy to people that just like, "Oh, you have a great pod. Fool, you should have me on." Why should I have you on?
Why?
Like,
Yeah.
Why? Like I'm barely meeting you. Why telling me this? But I would say this, like, if it's so hard to get a guest in, instead of depending on people that may not show, who are 2 people that are always gonna show up?
Man.
The host.
No, we'll be there. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
if you guys show up every day or every time you guys are available, then you guys are a thing. And the easiest thing
And you made me just think too. We're kind of missing the the guest stuff, like bringing people in. I mean, we should be bringing in Andrew. Like, I mean, his story is great too because what he has done, and we're now that you brought that up, and it kind of it got the wheel going. And I mean, Andrew might be our next guest here on Tapped In, man. And he's been sitting right here,
There's Andrew right there.
There it is. There it is.
All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm behind the scenes.
I mean, right now he is, but now it got me thinking though, like maybe that's what we should do because his story is really good. Like, I mean, and now I think we're gonna work on that for sure, Drew. Like, so that might be next. But you already
Well,
triggered
I'm
that.
I'm telling you right now, the whole Big Mike interview.
Yeah.
I think that was a great.
That which is coming out. I mean, very soon, but it is a really
Because he's not an influencer.
No.
He's not. But he does have over 30,000 followers. But he's he's a biker dude, and he's battling cancer. And he wanted to just
Talk.
share his story, and he's documented his whole journey
Like
on his own YouTube.
Everybody on the show right now, besides Jackie, because she came in later, Pepe, Jose, when I'm telling you, when we didn't have a guest, all right, fools, everybody sit on the couch, we're gonna record. Wait, what? What are we gonna talk? I'm gonna ask you questions, and there's content. That's our episode.
That's awesome.
So it started off as just fun and games. Until fun and games turned into people really loving our stuff. I was like, you know what? Instead of us bringing people in, we're the guests.
Yeah.
We handled it. And again, like in my backpack, I have my cardigan that we used yesterday because it's great conversation starters.
Yeah.
But again, it depends on the way you want to direct your show and what can you do every day, every week, nonstop. I could talk about life. I could talk about religion. I could talk about my faith, motivation. I could talk about this every day.
Do you mind if I add something?
Yeah, go for it.
I
Go
know
for
I shouldn't be jumping in, but I gotta say something. What I'm
good.
taking away personally from this conversation, because I could really identify on a lot what you're saying and what's going on here is I think we all grew up around the same generation, the same type of culture. Now, the choice I have to make for myself with your inspiration, the words that I'm hearing come from you is does it matter to me if I need to monetize or have a lot of subscribers or a lot of views, or does it matter to me more that I'm leaving a legacy for my children, my boys?
Yeah.
They get to see and then their children and so on and so forth. I don't know very much about my great grandfather or further down the line because somewhere the story was not shared. But I'm kind of thinking I have all the equipment. I know a lot of people, but it's a lot of work, brother. And you're putting in the effort. I'm hearing all this that's coming from, man, I got to do this for all these platforms. So give credit where credit's due.
Thank you.
But on my side note, and many of you guys out there, maybe it's just a love project. You know, something for our children to see.
Yeah.
You know, and if magic happens and all of a sudden it's picked up, then you go with the flow.
Yeah.
I mean, God has blessed you in a way where not everyone could be as popular, let's just say,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we all have a story to tell.
Of course.
We all have a legacy to live. And I think, for your children, your grandchildren to see you, having these conversations and sharing of the people that we once were, because we're going to be gone at one point.
Right.
That's
sure.
beautiful.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Thank
So
you,
thank
man.
you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Wow, that was amazing.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
awesome. Hell yeah.
Clip that,
Hey,
bro.
Yeah.
honestly, man, appreciate you coming out.
Nah, appreciate
and hanging
you guys.
out with
Luis,
us, man.
this was enlightening, man, and we really do appreciate your time. We know that you're a busy person. You do have an amazing channel on
Thank you.
YouTube,
Thank
and
you,
your
guys.
following is in it's pretty immense. And you got to go over, everybody. Check out YouTube. It's a Toast to Life podcast. No matter how many subs or whatever it is, but it's a lot of content on there that everybody could check out. And props to you for doing that, man.
Thank you.
And
Thank you guys,
big
man.
shout out to you for coming through and hanging out with us.
Maybe
here
hopefully you'll bring
at
us on
3P.
your pod. We can just have a straight on conversation.
If you guys are ready to cry, I'm down, bro.
I don't know if you'll make me cry, but I'll
Nah,
share. I will share.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys reaching out, and I take it very honorably, man, for taking the time to reach out to us, for me to come on and share a little bit of my story. Because
Love it.
how he said is just everybody has a story. It just has to be told.
Yeah.
And you guys,
I wish we had more time, but
Yeah.
there's stuff to do.
Yeah,
there's errands
yeah,
to
well,
run.
life got to go, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's
But
right.
for part 2. We'll say
Yeah.
part
Hey,
two.
I love that. Yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely want to
yeah.
follow up. Yeah, we definitely want to
I
follow
think
up, bro.
maybe we should do it on your end, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I definitely want to follow up. With
I
you,
mean,
man.
I don't want to
That's
be
dope as
pushy
hell.
either, so
No.
don't.
No, you are being pushy, bro. I see you over there,
That's
bro.
how I am.
I'm just
You know
kidding.
what? Thank you,
Hey,
gentlemen.
man, we appreciate it. We're Tapped In Media. I'm Russ. That's Rojo. This is Luis. And thanks for coming through a Toast to Life podcast. Also, Drew in the
nice.
studio. And I'm not even kidding about that. We are going to get Drew and talk about his story here at 3P because he has came already a couple times. So,
Yeah.
and now, as we talk about generating content, but thank you, everybody that does subscribe and like the videos. We appreciate it. And if you haven't, it's real simple. It's just a click and then, or a tap or whatever you want to do it. Tapped In Media. Check it out. We are available on Instagram and a little bit of X. We don't really do too much of it.
X is
Mhm. And of course, his favorite platform.
TikTok.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tapped In _media.
Hit that up. Luis, thanks again, brother.
Appreciate you guys.
All right,
man.
buddy. Take care.
Oh.